A slight bit back, I took a look at a Dell Optiplex 3020 SFF, which is kind of a bit of a small computer. You could fit it in a car, but this interesting specimen of a computer is light enough that it could probably be placed in the back passenger seats of a car. For reference, I have a Ford Escape from 2020. Not very special. Anyway, to answer the question of what this thing is, it's a Dell Inspiron 3252. These have been around at least since 2015. This one in particular was built in 2017, and they are generally some of the most bizarre computers you can come across of the modern era. Let's start with the I/O. It's not too special. There's a power button, a disk drive, this SD card reader, 2 USB ports, and an audio jack on the front. However, things get a little bit more interesting when we get to the rear. However, things get interesting on the back. We have audio jacks, a VGA port, HDMI, 4 USB ports, Ethernet, and a DC in port, which is interesting. And if this reminds you of laptop, because this thing is literally powered by a laptop charger. And then, if we look inside, that's where things get really weird. The board is particularly kind of small, but I don't think I can classify this in a standard form factor of motherboard. You probably have seen by this point that this thing has laptop memory. Yes, this is memory that is usually used in laptops. The CPU isn't too much. It's an Intel Celeron N series. I bet this possibly could have been a laptop processor. Let me go check real quickly. Alright, just a little bit later, and I've come to the conclusion that this is a mobile processor, at least according to Intel's website, because what this is an Intel Celeron N3700, which, while that processor can go up to 2.4 gigahertz, this one is tuned to 1.6, which makes it painstakingly slow. Other than that, there isn't too much to really write home about, so I guess let's go turn it on. I have Windows 10 installed on here after having forgotten my password on Ubuntu 22.10 install. Don't worry, there was nothing of value on there. However, I don't really need to say much about the desktop because it's Windows 10. As you can tell, this took quite a bit of time to load. So much so that I decided to go show some footage of my dogs. Well, that footage of dogs later. Let's try some web browsing. And particularly, I'm looking at YouTube here. It took some time to load, but it's tolerable. However, I don't really have too much to say for video, or YouTube, or web browsing in general. So how about we try some games? First off, let's try Progress Bar 95, which this time, because I didn't have Avast installed, it didn't bring up a thing, like in the Windows 8.1 video. It lagged a tinge in some cases, but overall not too bad. I want to next look at Baldi's Basics just for... I know why. It stuttered in some areas, but it played mostly okay. Which, I mean, that's good, because this game looks like it would be like an old school OpenGL thing. It reminds me of the Windows 95 3D Maze screensaver. Next, I want to take a bit of some time to try out Minecraft. So, at first, Minecraft, well, I played Minecraft 1.21 on this thing, and, I mean, it ran, but it ran at like single-digit FPS count. Bruh, you're trying 1.21, what do you expect? Something like 1.7 or 1.8 would be fine, I think.
Because I mentioned this in my Discord server.
So, jump cut to the next day, and I decided to try Minecraft 1.14, which ran a bit better. I mean, I kinda could play it now. However, probably for this system, the best performance I got was with 1.8.2, where it at one point got even 40 FPS for a second. Next, I want to try Peggle. Which I'll give credit where it's due, this computer can play Peggle quite well. Next, I want to try Toho, because you know I of course have to try Toho on here. And last but not least, Portal. Well, that's generally gonna summarize things. I just wanted to briefly end this by messing around with Arch Linux, because I wanted to see if I could get system performance on Arch Linux through the live installation environment, but that went nowhere. So, overall, is this thing worth it? Probably not. It's basically an OEM quote-unquote half-top.